Radio Network, the world's conscious broadcasting network, live on iTunes and archived on iHeartRadio, the voice of consciousness. And now, join Shay Parker's Best of the Best, offering celebrity guests, lively discussions, hot topics, free psychic readings, and expert guest hosts. Simply the best in spiritual and metaphysical talk radio. Listen live on your phone or device using our universal mobile player. No app needed. Shay Parker's Best of the Best. Find out more at bestamericanpsychics.com.
Everybody, oh my goodness, welcome to another episode of REBELations. This is Colby. I am your host, and I am beyond excited for tonight. I have a guest. She's a good friend of mine, and I met her through the Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development. She was a master teacher and my mentor and coached me along the way. So I really personally look up to her, look to her connection. I know she's absolutely a phenomenal teacher, light worker, psychic medium, everything. And so without further ado, I would love to introduce you all to Leanne Thomas. Hi, Leanne. Can you hear me, Leanne?
Hey, Colby. I can. You sound loud and clear on my end, so you sound fabulous. And your energy is fabulous as always, of course. Thank you so much for having me on. I am beyond excited to be on tonight.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just, you know how much I love you. And, you know, it's about taking all of this work to the greatest level that we can. And I know how you work. So I thought, let's share how you work and your experience with the listeners out there.
Well, beautiful and perfect, because I'm just a regular person, like obviously irregular, but regular. But I don't feel like I'm special or any different than anybody that may be out there listening. And so I'm hoping what people gather from our conversation tonight and the information that comes forward is that there's a special intuitive side to everybody that's listening, but also we all have come on a journey. We all have come on a walk to get wherever we are in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of us, you know, that walk is really long.
Okay.
So
my birthday is tomorrow. So yeah.
Yay! Happy birthday.
Thank you. I was hoping you were going to sing, but okay. I was kind of tricking you into that, but that's
I was gonna sing, and then I thought, well, then, you know, we'd have no listeners after about 2 minutes. So I thought we better just save them. But happy birthday. So, and this is a really, really...
Okay, sister, that's something else we have in common.
This is a really big, special birthday for you, really, because, you know, you're basically a year ago, you were really releasing everything of your traditional career to fully embrace this full time. Is that correct?
That's true. So the first week of June in 2015 was my last week of official work as a school teacher. I've been a school teacher reading specialist for almost 20 years. And that was my release date, was the very beginning of June. But I spent like the very beginning all the way up from January, obviously, to June, the beginning of June, like contemplating, organizing, working it out, planning, like doing all of the logical, like right brain or left brain, whatever they call it. I think it's left brain stuff that you do when you're, you worked in the traditional community, like as a school teacher for almost 20 years. Like there's fears that come up, but I surrendered. I made that surrender moment to spirit and to really my path, the path that I was meant to walk on last year. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah, I just think, you went, but you've always been a teacher. You went from teaching in a traditional capacity to now teaching this work. But how did you originally get into being a school teacher? What drew you to being a school teacher?
I think it was that always that drive inside of me, or that soul inside of me, the purpose, if you will, that wanted to serve. I just always wanted to serve. I wanted to give back. I wanted to make the world a different place. I wanted to give hope to the world. I wanted to change it in some way. And for me at the time, that felt like the safest route to go. It felt like the way to go, that I could do what I love to do and sit within my path.
Yeah, and it's definitely kind of, it is a little secure.
But still do it in a way that was acceptable to my family. And true, yeah, it is. But I'm not going to lie. I loved it. Yeah. I don't regret it. I don't sit back on any single day and go, you know what? I really made a mistake. That wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I really truly feel it was what I was supposed to be doing. And I still have a love and a passion for children, and getting them to open up their understanding and seeing inside of them and helping their soul to flourish in a world of public school and things like that try to fit a square peg in a round hole. And for me, I was like pulling these pegs out of those holes and saying, stand up here on your own, do this way. Here's how you can see things. Here's how you can try it different. And so I feel like that was the training ground that Spirit was wanting me in, and they didn't want to waste a moment. They didn't want to waste a second of my time doing something that I wasn't also going to be passionate.
Yeah, well, there's a thing with it where
so I was fortunate enough to have a traditional.
So, well, what's interesting, though, is I know that you always enjoyed being a teacher, because I can remember, even a couple years ago, you telling me how much you loved your kids and how much you loved doing what you do. But also as a student with you, it was incredible, because you never really tried to change who I was. You never tried to change even how I work. So even then, I could see how you allowed people to be their own individual self, and you encouraged it, really. You always did.
Oh, good. I hope so.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Phew. Yeah, like I walk my walk. Like I walk my talk. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Now, how hard was it to kind of leave the children that you did love, the children that looked up to you, and how hard was it to kind of say, all right, I now am ready to transition into the next phase?
That's a very interesting question. And yeah, well, it was extremely difficult, yet super easy. I knew I needed to do that. I knew I needed to close chapters of my life and step from one phase into another. But the part of me that had been independent, that had always known, like, this paycheck is coming, who was able to like, teachers don't get paid through the summer, and teachers don't get money through that time frame. So I would always pick up on another job where I go train teachers, around the state or around California, or I would do other side jobs or things like that where I would work in the summer. So I was always so independent. And not having that guarantee of that paycheck like a teacher gets was the hardest part for me. And saying that's hard for me to say, because there's a part of me that wants to say, yeah, leaving the kids was the hardest part. But what I reckoned with fairly early is that the angels came to me and they said that it's time for you to step aside, because there are others that need to step into the role that you've held in place. It's time for you to give a gift to someone else. Your talent has been mastered, and it's time for you to master something new and different. And so that, for me, that was then a no-brainer. When the angel stepped forward, so God's messenger, so essentially a message from God saying to step aside, that you've mastered this area of your life, it's time to let someone else do it, was the easy part. Not that my heart doesn't get pulled and tugged towards children, but the hard part was the guarantee of all the the paycheck and the money. And
Yeah.
I told Spirit very early on that if I began to do this work for money, meaning that I have bills to pay and things like that, which I do, but if it was for that reason only, that I needed to do another reading, or I needed to do another event, or I needed to teach another class, then I wouldn't do it anymore. I told them I just won't do it just for the sake of having money. And so it was that I needed to be able to serve. And so fortunately for me, in this, nearly a year since I stepped out, that I've been fortunate enough to say that I'm not doing it for the money. Obviously, there is that side of it. And I'm not saying money's not important, but if it was just for that sake, it would be too scary for me. And so I've been fortunate to be held up and to have things work out and sort out, and a supportive husband and those things to push me forward. But the hardest part was the guarantee of the money, the way that it came in. So that's,
yeah,
I guess I just kind of told on myself, didn't I?
No, it's true though. I mean, I know exactly that same feeling from working on taxes, having that, working for the man and having a steady paycheck, there's a lot to be said for that level of security it gives you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you decide, hey, I'm going to serve Spirit, and you serve it with all of your best intentions and all of the highest good, you're really hoping the money shows up too,
Right. But
so
that's not
surrender.
why we can do it. That's not why.
Yeah, no.
If we get up every day and we're worried about paying the bills, or that level of vibration wrecks it up for us. And so having the level of vibration that says, I'm doing this today because all I really need to be is of a level of service to the people that are coming forward. And then, of course, because there's a fair exchange of energy that happens. And
well,
so
hang on
I don't
to
want to
that
get into
thought.
the whole
Do me a favor. Hang on to that thought, because I know we're going to go to break, and I want to talk about this exchange of energy, okay? So hang on. We're with Leanne Thomas, and angelichope.com is her website. And right after the break, we'll talk more.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Circle of Hearts Radio is a sanctuary on the airwaves. Join me, Grandmother Elia, in the circle on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, as I share information to both enlighten and nourish your soul.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business. Join Elliot Jollish, the business therapist, each Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for the Elliot Jollish Hour, as he interviews business experts on your behalf. And you're invited to email your business questions to questions@ecjgroup.com for answers, live, on air every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Elliot Jollish Hour.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to REBELations. Again, this is Colby, and we are talking with Leanne Thomas. She is in LWISSD. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, that's Lisa Williams International School of Spiritual Development. That's actually how Leanne and I had the opportunity to meet. And she is a master teacher, but she is also a teacher for her own programs and her own classes. And I would love to welcome back Leanne. Leanne, are you there? Oh, not sure if you can hear me, so hang on a second. But Leanne, she is this amazing teacher, right? And so what happened is she would help me with these classes. She would help me with building my own confidence, building my own connection. So it's great. She's been incredible. So I just love her. She teaches classes all the time, and she's actually in the in Northern California. So if anybody's up there, you'll have to definitely tune into her. It's incredible. So we are going to connect with her and in a minute, and then what we'll do is we're going to kind of go back to that energy talk. That's what we're going to do here. So. And, really, Leanne definitely knows about this energy, the exchange of energy and such. She was always definitely trying to help me. So it's been good. So, Leanne, can you hear me? Oh, I can't hear you. Are you there? I don't know what our technical difficulties. Are we in some moon or something? What is that called? Oh, there is a moon thing tonight, isn't there? Oh, that's so funny. That's fabulous. So it's really great. That's okay. So let me try again here. Are you there, Leanne? Oh, there you are. I was just telling them. I was like, what is it? Some Mercury retrograde going on? And there is some moon thing tonight, isn't there? Like some special moon? Okay. So there we go. All right.
There is.
Okay, well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, no, right before the break, we were talking about this exchange of energy, okay? Yes. So can you tell me about that exchange of energy and how that works and what that means, even for everyday people?
So everything in life, even our energy, is looking for balance. It's looking for an evenness. And so when we pay for something, we're doing an exchange of energy for it, or we're doing an exchange, whether we're buying groceries or we're getting our hair done or our nails done or whatever it is that we're purchasing, whether, like in a reading, that there's an exchange of energy that happens with that. And the way we currently do that in the system that we live in is with money and dollars. Back in the day, it might have been with potatoes and turnips. But this, one time it might have been gold and silver. But in this day and age, we use, in America, we use dollars. In Europe, we use pounds, or they have the euro now. So it's a way of balancing everything out and making things fair. The interesting thing is for most people is that if they're not offering up a fair exchange of energy, what happens for them is that something falls short. And the universe, God, love, pick your term. I like to use the word universe or God, seeks to balance those things out so that everybody's energy is always working in their best interest. So if you overpaid for something comes back to you. If you underpaid, there will be a balancing out of that exchange as well. So always think of it as that you're never going to get out from having that balance happen on your
Yeah, and I think that's why,
behalf. And that's a good thing.
I think that's, why, that's why I think it's important for people to, when they have a stressful situation or whatever, right, that to try not to get all really, really upset about it, because you're just throwing yourself out of balance, right? So it's kind of like trusting and surrendering and just keep moving forward. Would you agree? I don't know. Would you agree? Oh, man. Did we drop you again? Oh my goodness, this whole moon thing is this crazy. That's so funny. But talk about an exchange of energy, right? It's neat that she talks about how, before it would have been potatoes or gold and coins and things like that. So it is really, really interesting how it works, and how if we just keep trusting in that, we can find that balance within ourselves. So it is great. So um what's really good about it is that we have this exchange. So we have this exchange of energy. So that's what really happens. That's what's good about it. So it's working. It's working with all of us. So it's knowing that each of us has this opportunity to reach our fullest potential, and we just have to try to keep doing that. And yeah, that's exactly what it's about. So it's trusting. And each of you, some of you may have trouble with that. Some of you may worry about that. But, like Leanne, we can all kind of take that next step. We can take that next step. So it's about moving forward with that and moving past, letting go of what might have been there and is still there. So anyhow, we will just kind of keep trying to get Leanne back. So this is Leanne Thomas from angelichope.com.
Here I am.
Oh, there you are. So go ahead. So I was telling him about the potatoes and the coins and the exchange, and you've been working on that, and you feel that it's working well for you. Now, beyond that, what about the teaching of spirituality and helping people connect? What is that like for you?
So my favorite thing in the world to do is teaching, and I can only teach what it is that I know and what I feel that I know well. And I love what it is that I'm doing. I currently have a class coming up, and it's on beginning intuition. So it helps people understand energy, how to connect to their own, because we all have intuition. We all have that within us. So anyone can learn about energy and how to use their own intuition. And I also teach classes to connect with the angels and how to create with the angels and to live your best life. And also I have a love and an affinity for my spirit guides. And I also teach a spirit guides class, which entails a little bit about who your spirit guides are and who the angels are and loved ones and how to connect to them and the different signs that we get from them. But essentially for me, what I love seeing is thriving through our own personal gifts and our own personal abilities. So I don't have an issue with, say, students who take off and flourish and are out there creating their own way of being in the world with spirit and what their life path entails. And so I feel that's what makes a great teacher, is for being willing to let go and to understand that there's more than one walk or path in this life. As it relates to spirit and as it relates to our own personal gifts. And you're an excellent example of that. Now, I wouldn't really call me as one of your teachers. I see myself as one of your peers, and that I was a supportive peer helping you walk your path. But if there was a way that I was mentoring or anything like that, it's been so exciting to see you take off, flourish, stand in your own power, have this radio show and do the other radio shows that you do, connect to the people that you connect to. That's exciting for me. I thrive on seeing other people take off that way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I will never forget in the class, you were helping out Lisa, and we were just kind of connecting, and you just walked up and you put your hand on my shoulder, and I could just feel the support. I could feel the love. And that just is so important. It can be life-changing for someone who's trying to understand how to utilize this connection and how to work with it. So I thought you were fabulous.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. The thing about this work that I know you know too is that you reach a deeper level within it when you're really able to, and the word ego is thrown around
Yeah.
a lot, especially when we're talking about in spiritual work or having talents or abilities. I don't care if you're talking about basketball or singing or, spiritual work like mediumship here, like that when you really are working from that heart space and able to see a gift or a talent within someone else and be able to help that flourish and that grow forward, that's a very, very special moment for somebody that's truly a teacher. And I may not be the best medium in the world, although, and I'm not trying to say that I am, I'm not
you are
leading
great.
to a moment where I say that I am, but it's like that, but I stand in my own power and I stand in my own gifts and I help anyone that comes on my path the very best that I can I can do from that perspective. And so, but I may not be the best medium in the world. It isn't about being best, or there's no competition within that. But for me, those teaching moments or those helping someone stand in their own gifts, whatever they happen to be, most powerful of all. I really love that. And I'm not saying that I don't love being a medium. I don't love making connections for other people day to day the way that I do, because I absolutely love it. But that for me is where I soar. That's where I have those moments of bliss. And I know you feel them too. I know you have those teaching moments as well.
Yeah, I'm not quite as gentle as you, but but I love those moments. Like it is so. Nothing is more exciting than when you see someone who is learning with you kind of break through a piece of fear that they have, or break through and make a connection that they hadn't before. And it is so rewarding. We do have another break coming up, so we will have to pause and take that break. But I want to let everyone know that I am talking with Leanne Thomas, angelichope.com. You can catch her website and check out her classes, and we will be right back after the break here.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Do you have time to read that inspiring book or that blog post you've been meaning to get to? In your busy world, how do you improve yourself and keep your life going? I'm Lisa Kay, and my Between Heaven and Earth radio show can transform your life just by listening. Be uplifted with inspiring topics, positive stories, and ideas that really work. Between Heaven and Earth Radio is conscious living for your soul, every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. As difficult as it is to believe, there are places in Africa where human traffickers sell albino children and their body parts for use in magic rituals. Humanity Healing International is actively working in Uganda to change this paradigm. The Albino Rescue Project finds albino children who are at risk and places them in safe schools and environments where they can learn and grow free from fear. To learn more or to sponsor a child, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Hi, this is Angela Levesque, host of Entanglement Radio. Join me Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern for inspiring conversations with visionaries in spiritual science and conscious healing. Entanglement Radio, Wednesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Transcendent talk for the conscious mind.
You're listening to OTR-FM, part of the IOM radio network.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back again to REBELations. We have Leanne Thomas here with us today. And hi, Leanne. Are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay,
I am.
I was like, oh no. Okay.
Not again.
Yeah. Now before the break, you were talking about how you work with students to kind of connect to guides and connect to angels. Do you mind telling the listeners the difference between guides and angels?
Well, to put it very simply, a guide or a spirit guide is a soul or an energy that connected to you in a past life or had an earthly life soul. An angel or an angelic is a soul that evolved over eons and eons of time and has not walked or lived an earthly life. There are actually three, though, angelic beings or archangels that have once walked on the earth plane. Two are widely known, and there is a third, and I will be writing a book about that. But there's a difference because the angelics didn't walk an earthly life, whereas our spirit guides did. So our spirit guides understand what it's like to be human, whereas our angels are always pushing us along, prodding us along. They see the highest potentials in us, and they know we can reach for that. And so it's fun to work with them because they never see a limitation or a glass ceiling for us the way that we might.
Okay. Now, when you say our guides, right, do you believe, would we have known our guides? Like if someone says, my grandfather is my guide, would we have known our guides, or is it someone that we would not have met in the physical realm?
We wouldn't have met them in the physical realm, those that actually work as spirit guides for us. But we can have loved ones that help to guide us.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a different kind of role. So a spirit guide didn't have in our present form. So me as Leanne, or say you as Colby, wouldn't have our grandmothers or any other figure that we would have been connected to in this earthly life, be a spirit guide for us. But certainly they're guiding us almost like angels, only they're not angelics. So they're there for us, guiding, pushing us along, loving us, sending us messages, signs, and symbols. But they certainly aren't given the task, the job, or the assignment, if you will, as say a spirit guide would have.
Okay. And then, is everybody assigned an angel and everybody assigned a spirit guide?
Absolutely. And a lot of people that actually that information can bother because they can say like nasty people like say Hitler or other figures that have been very nasty. How do they have angels? How do they have guides? But we all are given them. And who's to know the mind of God? But certainly we are all bestowed and are given the benefit of having angels that walk with us, that are our personal sort of guide. And then, of course, our spirit guides. And everyone has an overarching guide. There's different terms that people use for our overarching guide. There's one that starts with us before we're born and helps plot out our life or our major markers in our life. Some call it our master guide. There's other terms for it. It doesn't really matter what the term is, but we have those kinds of guides as well as others. We have joy guides and grief guides and
all kinds,
all other sorts that want to walk with us through life. And exactly. But they had an earthly life.
Now, what about, I know you do these angel party events, right? So you hold angel party events. And so what is that angel party event? Can you share what that is like for us?
Oh, they're so much fun. So it's for a small group of people, like 10 people, perhaps less. Some people want to book their own private
Mm-hmm.
Groups with their friends for this, but I teach them about who the angels are, and then I also channel messages for each person in that group and give them a message from the angelic realm, let them know which archangels is supporting them through their journeys, and then I also teach them how to use angel cards. There's lots of different forms of angel and oracle cards out there that anyone anyone listening now, anyone that takes the class can open a box and begin to use the cards. So I teach them how to get their hands on them and get going so that they can walk with the angels and have a better connection and understanding, and also live closer to their purpose through this life that we're living. Life can be difficult at times, or it can be a little challenging, but knowing that you've got angels around you, but not only just knowing that you have them there, also utilizing them, talking to them, getting a connection, going them through the cards and meditation and other means can help us live a happier, healthier, more abundant life.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes those cards are really great just to kind of get some clarification or validation on our thoughts and feelings. So they do tend to work really, really great. So that's wonderful that you kind of have these events. Yeah. And I think it's really great that you give the people the tools that they can kind of do it on their own also, that they're not always dependent on someone doing it for them.
Always the teacher here. That's always my goal. Self-empowerment, being the teacher, go off.
Oh, good.
Off and do your thing. And I get a lot of people that laugh at me even because I'll tell people I'll only read for you twice a year. Like, you've got the tools that you need. A reading is solid and long for that amount of time. And I'm always wanting to empower people. And that's really something to look for when you're living your life, your best life, that you have tools to handle it. And anybody can and really reach for that. Any listener that's listening to your show now can.
Yeah, it's we all have a higher self, and sometimes we just we haven't even learned how to kind of tune into that higher self fully. But the more we can, I think it can give us so many answers just right within inside of ourselves. Now you teach also beginning intuition, which is really interesting because you teach all levels. But I do know you have a beginning intuition class coming up. Yes, on March 19th, right?
I do. Yeah, it's just a little more than a week away. I have 2 seats left for that class. So if you're in the Santa Clara area and you're wanting to see and expand on your intuition, or say you're a massage therapist or a healthcare worker or a teacher or any kind of childcare worker, and you're wanting to expand on those knowings or those personal intuitions or how to work with energy, this is the perfect class. We even do like aura work where we all project our auras out and we tune into the aura and we look at how to see the aura and the energy around a person. And I put the word seen in quotes here because we all can feel into or see into someone else's aura. And your listeners will know and understand this, Colby, anybody listening here, that we read people in a sense. You get a feeling for someone. You may even be standing in the line at the grocery store and you may kind of feel into the person standing in front of you or about you. Energy is encroaching on you, or you feel some kind of empathy, or you feel some kind of a creepiness to somebody that's around you, or even a place that's around you. That's connecting to energy. And around a person, any living thing, it's called an aura. And science has even just proven that. It's not something necessarily woo-woo or fanciful that exists out there, that each cell of our body that they've proven with science emits light. So if you scratch out a few of your cells from the inside of your cheek and you put them under a microscope and you take a look at that, those cells for a few seconds emit light. And that light carries color and energy and a frequency that someone like you or me can read deeper into. But all of us feel it. That's that vibe you feel, right?
Right. And that is neat. I'm always telling people, really go with your intuition, that clairsentient, and trust it. Because so many times, so many things happen and we just don't trust it. And every time, how many times do you say to yourself, oh, I should have listened. I should have listened to myself.
You know what? I still do that way more often than I'm proud to admit. So yeah, we all do that. I mean,
if
that's
anyone,
just a human
we
thing
should
to
know
do.
better, right?
We should, and we actually do. But it's still those things where we want to give someone the benefit of the doubt, or
yeah, and
we want to believe into something, or we want to that's that human nature.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely still supposed to have a human experience, and I think part of that human experience is still learning and growing and, making mistakes and having experiences and learning from them. So absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, definitely. Now, how does your husband feel about all of this? I know, is he listen to you?
Well, yeah, more or less, in all truthfulness. The thing about my husband is that he's one of my biggest supporters. So I recently had a large group platform event. There was almost 150 people there. We were just shy of 150 people there. But my husband was the one checking people in, checking for tickets, taking people's names, taking money or, credit cards or whatever for people who are wanting to buy tickets at the door. He helped come and set up all of the chairs for the event. He made sure that the sound system was working, that my mics were he did all of these things for me. And he didn't have to do that with his afternoon. That was my thing. I could have sorted it out with
having
different
that
people or whatever, but he wanted to be there for my sake.
Yeah, and having that support of someone, especially someone we love and we care about, and having them be there for us and support us as we grow is really one of the best feelings. So now we are going to take our last break here in just a few seconds. And so, I'm having the best time with you. So thank you so much and for sharing everything. I may even try to date after this since you found someone so fabulous.
Perfect.
All right. We are with Leanne Thomas, angelichope.com, and we will be right back after this commercial break. You are listening to REBELations, and I am your host, Colby.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
This is Terry Van Horn, and I want to invite you to join me for my weekly radio show, Hailing Light, on OMTimes Radio, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Hailing Light, we want to bring love, light, and blessings into your world. You can find out more about us at www.healinglightonline.com. Blessings.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. The number one reason girls drop out of school in sub-Saharan Africa is lack of access to feminine hygiene products. The Pads for Schoolgirls Project, an outreach of Humanity Healing International, is changing this paradigm by setting up sewing programs at schools, teaching girls a vocational skill, while producing the reusable pads that help keep them attending classes. The girls pay it forward by making and giving pad kits to other girls in need. To learn more, visit humanityhealing.org. Humanity Healing is where your heart is.
Come on down. You're the next listener of the Joe Show's second annual Salute to Game Shows, Price is Right, Uncensored. A two-part series airing on Wednesday, March 9th and Wednesday, March the 16th. we will take you back all the way to September 4th, 1972, the first day Price is Right aired on CBS. The Joe Show speaks with longtime former producer Roger Dobkowitz, $1 Million Spectacular announcer Randy West, and longtime former Price is Right legendary host Bob Barker. So mark down Wednesday, March 9th and Wednesday, March 16th, 9 p.m. Eastern, OMTimes Radio on The Joe Show.
This is OTR-FM, part of the IOM Radio Network.
Welcome back, everyone. We are talking to Leanne Thomas. She is a master teacher, a world really renowned psychic medium. She's done traveling all over for this. She does private readings, group readings, and she teaches classes online and in person. So I would love to welcome back Leanne. Hi, Leanne.
Hi, I'm still here. I'm still hanging on. Internet connection is working. Yay!
Yay! It's just a little bit more. We're just going to ask a little bit more. I think that someone will have to make sure they message us if there's I thought there's like a moon thing tonight, but you know what? Who knows? Isn't there? Okay, because otherwise my life is always in Mercury retrograde. I
know. There is a solar eclipse happening right now.
Yeah, right now. Oh, see, everybody.
Right now.
Oh, my goodness.
And also a moon happening.
Wow.
It's a perfect time to manifest things you want and write out your intentions.
Okay,
there's a lot of clearing and purging going on, so that makes sense.
I'm going to manifest a good connection here for the last few minutes. That's what I'm going to manifest.
Amen, and word to the angels. Come on now.
Now, so anyone really, they can come to you, even for a reading, right? So do they just go to your website, theangelichope.com? Is that where they find you? Okay.
It's angelichope.com, and you book all online under the Make Appointment tab. It's all pretty simple. I take phone, Skype readings, in-person readings. I love them all. You know what the interesting thing is, and I know you know this, Colby, but that if phone reading or Skype reading is just every bit as powerful as in person. The thing about a medium is that we have the ability to connect through time and space with a spirit connection. Spirit isn't encumbered by time or space, and because we work with spirit, our own personal energies have the ability to travel beyond that. And so if you're somewhere in the world and you're wanting to connect to a reading with Colby or myself, and say you live not in our vicinity, we are not going to give you a less quality reading because you're on phone or Skype. And I just feel that's amazing. That's an amazing thing about mediums that I don't think all people really get or understand.
Yeah, I think it's I had someone just email the other day saying she didn't even know it was possible to do it over the phone. So, and it absolutely is. I mean, goodness, it's so amazing how spirit works and how they have such a desire to connect with us in this realm.
Yes, absolutely. Not encumbered by.
Yeah. So now, let's get back to the man. All right. Let's talk about the honey bunny.
And it's every bit as powerful. And sometimes, and I'm just going to speak for myself on this in case, that if I can be in my jammies without any makeup or hair on, I might give a smash read because of. Okay. Absolutely.
So, now finding love, I'm just curious, were you already doing this work when you found your husband, connected with your husband, or did you find him before this work?
I found him much before this work because my husband and I met in high school. Now, we didn't date, and obviously we weren't married in high school, but we go back that long. And I always say anybody who knows what I looked like back in the 80s and in high school and still loves me today is a gem of a guy. But the idea here is that, no, I stepped into doing this work. I was a school teacher, and this started taking a hold of me. It's something I was born with, and it runs in my family, but I don't feel that it necessarily has to run in your family for you to have this gift. But nonetheless, there's evidence of it running with my grandmother on my mom's side, my aunt on my mom's side, my mom in some respects, a cousin that I have, and myself.
Right.
And so, but I didn't embrace it. And no one really in my family has embraced it except for me. And from a Catholic family, it's not something easy to embrace. But so I was married, I have a son, and things started to take control of me in a sense. Not control of me in a bad way, but I started to have amazing experiences. So to make a long story short, that we were married for a while, and I came to him and essentially I said, I talk to dead people, and he went, I don't know that I understand that, but he said, this is what he said to me, and I still remember this. And it was the end of October, and it was a Sunday morning, and I told him I talked to dead people. I didn't really say it like that, but essentially it's what I said. And he looked at me and he said, I don't understand that. He said, but I know that you would never tell me something that you didn't believe was true, and that you would never lie, scam, or hurt anyone else with anything you did in your life. You only want to help other people. And so he said, I don't know what's going on here, and I think I need to go downstairs for coffee. And so that's what he did. And he went down and got some coffee, and he came back upstairs because we were sitting in bed at the time when I told him, and he just said, what is this? And I said, I'm not really sure, but I'm going to go on a fact-finding mission. And he said, okay. And wow. I mean, it wasn't all sunshine and roses, but he certainly stood by me the whole time. And I feel like he's fascinated. I feel like he thinks it's amazing and crazy, and he doesn't get it, and he doesn't know how I know the things that I know. But if he's making me dinner right now downstairs, and that's all that I need to know, right? Like that's all you need to know is somebody that supports you.
Yeah, a man who will make you dinner while you're on a radio show and will check guests in while you're having an event and is fine in my book.
Yes, and I know you know him, and I know that you have had an opportunity to meet him, and he's a fantastic and wonderful guy, and I am so blessed to have something like that in my life, because this work can be hard enough. Your life is not your own. You're of service to spirit, and we want to be service to spirit. So that means that you work odd hours of the day and night. You have strange things happen around you. You just know things, and you get strange looks from other people when you tell them what you do with your life. And so somebody that sticks by you and through those things has got to be a strong person. And having that for me, and now Colby, you're a strong, and you're a crazy, amazing, strong soul, individual, person, woman. You walk your talk like that. There's a crazy, amazing strength about you. For me, having my husband help me get through these things at this stage in my life and being able to stand strong in it means so much. So don't admire me. I admire you. And that it's, and however spirit can work avenues in our lives to get us where we need to be is, I just couldn't do it without him. I really couldn't. He's an amazing guy. He's certainly not perfect, snores every day and whatever, but
we won't talk about his flaws. We'll just keep him in that angelic realm.
Very much so, yeah.
But it is nice. Perfect. I just think it's really nice for all of us, whether it's, a parental figure or a best friend or a colleague, a peer or a partner, that just we have that unconditional support in this work. Because as you said, it can be a little difficult or a little challenging at times, and it can also be unbelievably fruitful, exciting, like feeling, gives you everything you want. It's the best, high in the world, as one could say. So it's nice just to have someone that we can share that with also. Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so, we're coming to a close here. We've got just a couple minutes left. So I want to make sure that everybody knows where to find you, how to reach you for a session. So again, your website is angelichope.com, yes? And now, are you on Twitter and Facebook also?
Yes, I am on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Instagram, I'm Leanne Thomas Medium. Facebook, I'm Leanne Thomas Medium. So Facebook.com/Leanne Thomas Medium. I am on Twitter, Angelic Hope 444 on Twitter. But you can find all of those links on my website if you want to get connected. Every Sunday I do a special prayer. So if there's any prayers or a connection that you want to make to the spirit world, Sunday mornings, find me on Facebook, usually 6 or 7 a.m. Pacific time, that all you have to do is type yes next to your name, and I hold prayers for people. So get connected to me on Facebook and get connected to my prayer.
Really incredible. Yeah, and they can also sign up for your newsletter also, I know. Well, I want to thank you so much.
All right there.
Yes, thanks, Leanne. I really want to thank you for taking the time to be on the program today to, share your love, share your light, share your knowledge and your experience with the listeners, and let them know that we all can connect, and everything we need is just, a thought away, really.
Absolutely.
And again,
Thank you.
Yeah, and if anyone wants a reading with Leanne, you just go to angelichope.com. You can book it directly right online. And again, thank you so much, Leanne. Really appreciate having you on the show. Have a great night, everybody. And thanks for listening.
Thank you for joining us for Shay Parker's Best of the Best. Be sure to tune in next week for more lively discussion topics. Have a great week, and don't forget to check out bestamericanpsychics.com in case you need some professional, ethical, and accurate psychic advice from the nation's best psychics. Until next week, take care of yourselves and one another.